Hello fans, collectors, investors. Welcome back to Iconic Baseball. I'm Iconic Al. I want to get on and do a quick video response for my buddy Darren at Return to Collecting. He has become somewhat of a local hobby buddy of mine. He's a fellow Colorado resident and fellow Countdown brother and a great member of this YouTube community. And he just recently hit 600 subscribers and he's darn near close to hitting 700 subscribers now. So congratulations, Darren. Really value your channel and your hobby camaraderie. He's doing a contest where he wants us to share 3 channels that have under 200 subscribers to grow and help them to get more exposure. The 3 channels I want to shout out here are, first of all, Video Guy 316. This is a guy named Doug. I've really been enjoying his channel, primarily a vintage collector, but just wanted to get his name out there because he is, should have more than 117 subs. So Video Guy 316, Doug. Number 2 would be The Show and Me. This is a guy named Don, and he has a kind of a more recent obsession with pre-war, but just a great collection and should have more than 166 subs. So The Show and Me. The next one and the third one is the Cincinnati Kid, a Reds fan, a Reds collector. He just did a great showing of Pete Rose cards. And again, should have more than 176 subscribers. So check out the Cincinnati Kid. So those are the 3 channels that I wanted to highlight that are under 200 subs. I am subscribed to all 3 channels and really enjoy them. So check them out. And then the other part of this VR is Darren wanted us to share 2 cards from our PC, 2 of our favorite cards from our PC. And so I went sort of a different direction with this. They aren't high value cards. They aren't, really, earth-shattering cards and maybe cards that maybe you haven't even seen before, but they mean something to me. So I'm gonna turn the camera around and tell you why these 2 cards mean something to me. Okay, on this VR, I'm bringing the shine, but not the iconic shine, the obscure shine. A couple players you probably never heard of, but they mean something to me, and I'll tell you why. Okay, this guy on the left here, his name is Matt DeSalvo, and I went to college with this guy, Marietta College. This guy pitched for the Marietta College baseball team back in the early 2000s when I went there, and I played fall baseball. I wasn't good enough to play for the Marietta College baseball team. Also, as a sports medicine major, I didn't have the hours, the time in the day to do it because I needed to get hours covering various sports. So I volunteered to play fall baseball, which is kind of like their unstructured league, to help to kind of keep their big players like this in shape without being sort of an official on the books league. So what I'm getting at is I got to bat against Matt DeSalvo back when I was at Marietta College. And we all knew this guy was going to the big leagues because he was throwing in the mid to low 90s, and he set every Division III pitching record that existed. Strikeouts, wins. He was a stud. No one could hit this guy in Division III baseball. And so I came up to bat against this guy, and I had never seen 90 plus miles an hour before, but I was lucky enough to catch a glimpse of the pitch. I just caught a little piece of the pitch on its way past me and shot a flare to right field. I rounded first base. I realized I had a base hit. This was like a bloop hit. And of course I got greedy and I tried to stretch it to a double, and I immediately got thrown out at second base. So it goes into the books as a single against Matt DeSalvo. Now this is an unofficial league game, but I have the distinction of getting a hit off a guy that would eventually pitch for the Yankees. So this is why I keep this card, because this guy was elite. As far as I was concerned, the greatest pitcher I had ever faced, and I was able to bloop a single off the guy. So it means something to me. So when he actually had a Bowman card a couple of years later, you better believe I bought it. And this is numbered out of 150. This was a blue refractor. So that's why I keep this card, because I faced this guy and I somehow blooped a single off this guy. And then I don't mention this as much, got thrown out at second trying to stretch, but there we go. a guy that I got a single off of back at fall baseball in college. So Matt DeSalvo, if you're watching or if you're out there, I'm sorry I mentioned that story, but one of those memories that I cherish. It means nothing to anybody else, but this is a card that I love. All right, along those same lines, this is one, a 94 Bowman's Best dual refractor of Cal Ripken, a guy that I really avidly collected back in my teenage years. And then Kevin Ory, someone that probably nobody has ever heard of except for me. He went to my high school and he graduated a few years before I did. And this card was actually stolen from me. We had a couple kids over to trade cards one day. We didn't know them that well. I knew the older brother reasonably well, but the younger brother I didn't know very well. We knew him simply as Acorn. And we were all trading cards, and this is one of my favorite cards at the time. It was probably valued around $35. And for back then, that was a lot of money for a card. It was one of my best cards. And after we had concluded trading with these kids, I realized I didn't have this card anymore. And so I had to have that awkward conversation with his older brother at school the next day. Hey, I think your younger brother might have stolen a card from me. And so, he was embarrassed, but he's like, okay, I'll talk to him. And sure enough, a couple days later, I get the card back from his older brother and say, yes, Acorn's sorry, he didn't mean to, steal the card. He's really sorry. So, so I always think back at this card because it was stolen from me and then returned. And so I always value this one more than most because it was one, of the guy that I collected and coupled with a younger player that went to our high school, Kevin Ory. And so there's a lot of nostalgia there, but then there's a funny story connected to it where literally this card was stolen from me and then returned back to me. So that's where the weird memory comes in there. But here, two very obscure refractors in my collection that nobody else has a story to. Probably no one else has ever even heard of Matt DeSalvo or Kevin Ory, but they mean something to me. They're very special to me. So thank you, Darren, for prompting this weird story session. But what I would like to do is enter in the drawing for the 1964 Topps Willie Mays. So I put my hat in the ring and we'll see what happens. Thank you for this VR, Darren, and congratulations on getting to 600 and probably by the time I'm posting this, 700 subscribers. So until next time, everyone, keep collecting and stay iconic.